के लोगों को 2.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा की बचत होगी। और तभी तो मैं कह रहा हूं ये बचत उत्सव है। हम वो सामान खरीदें जो मेड इन इंडिया। हर दुकान को स्वदेशी से सजाना है। जब ये होगा तो भारत तेजी से विकसित होगा।
Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching NDTV Profit. At the onset, let me wish all of you a very happy festive season, a happy Navratra to everybody tuning in. And as you can see behind me, I am at an electronics store. Today is D-Day. It is the day that GST 2.0 rolls out. And I've been thinking for a while, I need a new phone, I need a couple of new gadgets. And I usually am the tech guy. I go and spend on tech that I don't really need. But incidentally, my co-anchor Mahima has been browsing a couple of sections here because I think she wants to figure out what to buy. I've never seen her so excited about tech before, and the reason is that it's all gotten cheaper. Quite a few of these things have gotten cheaper. Let me go across to her and find out what she's looking at. Mahima, what have you been looking at?
Right, so a couple of things, Alex, that I'm looking at right now. Of course, the first three things where we've seen GST cuts coming in from that 28% mark to 12% mark. The first one being TV, more than the 32-inch.
Something like this?
Something like this, yes. And then you have your ACs and dishwashers. So people who are worried about washing dishes at home and who have no maids will be happy with the GST cut that we've seen. So these three things, of course. And of course, we've not seen any GST cut on phones, but yes, I think iPhone 17 is something that people are looking at right now for sure.
So that's one. So on the one hand, you have the GST cuts. On the other hand, you have festive offers that kick in.
Exactly.
So it's a great time to be going out and figuring out what you want, get your lists in order. But it's not just consumer electronics. And we'll be speaking with the director of Vijay Sales very shortly. Mr. Nilesh Gupta is going to be joining us. But we've also got conversations lined up for you to talk about the automotive space and also the snack space, because all of that is getting cheaper. Let's run through the list very quickly. What gets cheaper today?
So a lot of things, like from a toothbrush in your bathroom to a butter in your fridge, everything gets cheaper because that includes a lot of milk, dairy items. That includes your paneer, chocolates, ice creams, butter, cheese, etc. So that's from the staple pack. You're also seeing snacks getting cheaper in terms of where they were at 12% earlier will now be charged at 5% mark. Apart from that, you have your clothing, apparel. Below that 2,500 mark will go down in terms of where GST rate stands to that 5% mark again. In terms of where your hotel industry stands in terms of the consumption space, well, where your ticket size is below that 7,500 mark, that gets cheaper too. So a lot of items for sure, Alex, getting cheaper from today, and this marks the onset of festive season as well. Navratri kicking in, making things cheaper. And that'll, in general, boost demand.
Yeah.
That's what we've been hearing from analysts and management as well.
And also people on the ground. We've got from the automotive space, Mr. Sandeep Kumar Bafna, who's the chairman and managing director of Fort Point Automotive Cars. Sir, thanks so much for taking the time. Mr. Bafna, can you give me a sense of the offers that are currently underway? And of course, today is the day when all of those prices tick down. What is the kind of initial response that you are seeing? Do you see feet on the ground? And what is your anticipation for sales this festive season?
So let me start with two-wheelers. We are dealers for Hero. Suddenly, there has been a spike in inquiries. And in fact, today we are expecting a lot of payments to pour in for the Hero bikes. In fact, we've launched also 2-3 new products, and which were in waiting for such a long time, and that now would change the whole concept of things which are going to happen. On the car front, we are dealers for Maruti. In Maruti Suzuki, as you are aware, that there is a reduction in GST, plus the company has also reduced prices, which came to us as a big surprise. We thought that just the GST benefit would go to the customer, but the company has also reduced their prices on the product. Along with that, even though it is up to December only, but I feel that along with that, they will give a lot of other discounts and benefits which are also coming in. Financing is becoming cheap today. Mahindra Finance has announced that there won't be any processing charges from today onwards up till the end of the season. So I feel that this whole thing
It's
is
a combination
pending.
of the prices going down on account of GST as well as the discounts that are kicking in from the festive side, a lowering of the processing fees. All of that is exciting to say the very least. I'll come back to you in just a bit. We're joined in store right now by Mr. Nilesh Gupta, as I've pointed out. Nilesh, thanks so much for taking the time. It's an exciting time because I think normally on a Monday at 12 o'clock, it's not as busy as it is today. It's deserted, and today is a different story. Yes. Can you take us through where you think the biggest excitement is going to be after the GST cuts and coupled with the festive fervor that you would expect?
So I think this time is going to be a double whammy. One is the GST cut and second the festival also. Plus, last 15 days have been very poor because people were waiting for today onwards to buy. So I think the basic action is going to be in large screen televisions because they, in rupee term, is the nice.
What is it like?
In large screen televisions, it is nearly 50 to 18,000 rupees, which has come now, 65, 75 inches and above. In rupee term, it's really very. Air conditioners, it could be there, but air conditioners, we'll have to wait for the weather to be on the favorable side. Be on the favorable side.
Yes.
But even dishwasher, that's a category which we saw in the rise after COVID. I think that's something which will become a staple food, like how everybody has washing machine in the house. A dishwasher will also come in.
Those are where your flat screen TVs are, the big ones, right? So let's walk across to that segment as well while we're talking about it. And Mr. Gupta, really the question that I have is that alongside all of this, there is a call by the Prime Minister to make local and to buy Indian. Yes. There are more technological products, more consumer electronics that are being made in India, but there are still a lot of manufacturers that make outside and sell here. So in the catalog that you have, do you have more products than you had 2 years back that are made in India?
So now if you see in the last 3-4 years, the government ensured that all these products, 90% of them are made in India. Okay. Because they made it impossible to import because the duties were high. So everybody has set up the pack. You see in our industry, a lot of factories have been set up. So all the televisions which you see here, except for the last screens, pretty very last screens, 100 inches and above, which has minuscule say. It's all make in India. And even the 100 inches in few factories a few brands are assembling here. So everybody is having make in India. Even if you see Apple phones, most of the phones are now make in India. In fact, we are exporting it also. So accordingly, I think everything what you see here is, if not 90%, at least 75-80% is make it.
Absolutely. We'll come back to you, Mr. Gupta. We're also joined by Rishabh Jain, who's the CFO of Bikaji Foods, joining us now. Mr. Jain, hi. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining. Just want to understand the demand that we're seeing in the snacking space. You know, we talked about how auto space is picking up, how consumer durable space is picking up, but snacking is one industry that, you know, when I was speaking to one of the FMCG analysts, he said that snacking is going to be that one industry that's going to see a lot of demand boost because of GST 2.0. Your view with regards to the demand that's coming in already?
So we are also expecting the same. So it's a peak Diwali season, and we see a lot of gifting and all going this season. And there is good cut from 12 and 18% to 5%. It's more of simplification and ease of doing business. So we see that it will be good Diwali this year for all the snacks players.
Let me ask you this though, when you're talking about the price points where there is going to be an impact for GST in the snacking space, the expectation is that these are all small ticket items. So as manufacturers, would you say that it's easier to control it with the grammage, and on the packet you're not likely to see too big of a change, and so therefore the question is, how does that bolster demand?
So basically we have two type of overall packs. So family pack and impulse pack. So family pack is all about 20 rupees, which is 200 grams, 400 grams, which are MRP driven brand. So we have reduced MRP from today, and for impulse pack we increase grammage. That's what we're doing, and we are committed to pass on completely to the consumers. That's what we are targeting.
Okay, Mr. Gupta, coming back to you, last time when we spoke, we were talking about how, you are confident that this time you'll do a 20% growth apart from what you did last year. Considering now that, pre-bookings would have probably come in, do you think that 20% can be higher?
No. 20% will not see. 20% was also a very large goal.
Yes.
So I think even if you achieve that, it's a great thing. But now the expectation is we will be able to do it 20% because what has happened is last 15 days has been very dull. So there's a backlog over there. So that will also come in. So in this period, I'm sure this time 15 to 20% seems plausible.
And what, according to you, will drive that mix? Do you see it changing because, as you pointed out, these televisions get cheaper? Will that lead to?
Television will drive, mobiles will drive, laptops will drive, and appliances traditionally is a Diwali product. So all refrigerators, washing machines is also going to drive. And if weather supports, normally in this part of the country, west part, November is a mini summer. Second summer. So if that happens, then with a 10% reduction in the GST, I think AC will also kick off.
Do you think the premiumization part will also pick up from here on because now we are seeing, some products getting cheaper? Do you think a consumer would want to move towards a more premium TV or, a better energy efficient AC?
So that was always happening in the last
Yes.
post-COVID, but now it's going to take more further ahead for the simple reason is a person who was planning to buy 55 now will think of buying a 65 and a 65 guy would move up to 75.
Exactly.
Okay, I do want to ask about that same question to Mr. Bafna because, Mr. Bafna, you were pointing out that there are more inquiries, but in the two segments that you mentioned, in the two-wheeler space and in the four-wheeler space, for Maruti Suzuki, they are anticipating that the small cars will really see a bump in demand. I'm just wondering what you're seeing on the ground.
So actually what has happened is we've seen in the last couple of days a lot of two-wheeler customers walking into our showroom, and after the price reduction announcement 3 days ago by Maruti Suzuki, the product like Espresso being below 3 lakh rupees, customers are moving from two-wheelers to four-wheelers. I mean, they're at least inquiring and at least 10% to 15% conversions should take place. So I feel that a lot of upward movement and upward movement in the four-wheeler industry and from the two-wheeler to four-wheeler would also happen. Along with that, you see that the 100cc motorcycles, now people are moving to 125cc with this price reduction. So we find that the inquiries in the 125cc also has increased. With Hero coming out with the new Glamour, customers are instead of going for the Splendor 110, they're moving for the 125cc. So you see that whole upward movement has started, and I feel that this would really break a lot of barriers, which earlier customers were not thinking of buying a four wheeler are now moving towards that. And in the rural segment also, we are seeing a lot of inquiry growth.
Excellent. And it's great to hear that from a dealership that is representing both the largest car maker as well as the largest two-wheeler manufacturer, among the largest two-wheeler manufacturers. But speaking about auto and speaking about premiumization, we've got a ground report for you from Tamil Nadu, the implications of GST 2.0 rolling out. Sam Daniels has this report. Check it out.
The price of cars have become cheaper with cut in GST from the earlier 28% to 18%. The industry is optimistic that this could encourage first-time car buyers to go for it this festive season. The GST on electric vehicles too has been brought down to 5%, triggering excitement that this could actually spur purchase of EV cars. With me, Niranjan, a health and fitness coach. Thank you very much for your time. What would this mean for first-time car buyers?
So this is definitely a very encouraging move for the first-time car buyers. I think car rates have come down and it has put the cars in an accessible range for the first-time buyers.
You think this should have been done a long time ago? The opposition says the Indian consumers have paid 50,000 crore as GST so far.
I mean, you would always be happy if the cars were cheaper even 5 years down the line, 5 years earlier. But better late than never. I would say this is a welcoming move. If it had been done earlier, yes, well and good, but still better late than never.
Is this eyeing elections?
Oh, I would say elections are still quite a time away, but looking at the roadmap, yes, I think elections are 4 years down the line, and especially with the BJP not getting a very strong mandate this time. Yes, they are at power in the center, but it was not a very strong mandate compared to the previous two terms. Right. So I think all these moves are more people centric.
Right. Thank you very much. And car dealers say ever since the GST reforms were announced, they've been experiencing a slump in bookings, and now they hope there could be a revival of demand for cars. Thank you very much, Mr. Sankarapandian, the team manager here.
Yes.
How are the bookings now, and how was it over the last 2 weeks?
Sir, customers are eagerly waited because of the GST. Now, yesterday night they confirmed everything. So, from today onwards, the booking expected as more than the actual. We expected the best result from every dealerships.
What kind of price cut for your models, be it Sonnet, be it for Seltos?
Sir, in a category wise, government is decided two categories of GST. It is 18% and 40% for cars especially. But 18% it is a highest margin to every end user or the customers. For example, if it is in a 10 lakh worth of car, they can save up to 1.3 lakh rupees straight away from GST, plus added benefits available for festival seasons. So customers are really happy with that. We expected more number of booking coming days.
So it's going to be bumper festive season for you now. And for electric vehicles?
Exactly, sir. But electric, they maintaining the same for 5%. So there is no ups and downs. But electric is a future.
Thank you very much for your time. And dealers expect a bumper booking this festive season. And customers can't really wait to avail this GST tax cut, which have just made cars affordable.
Okay, so that's the ground report coming in straight from Tamil Nadu, and dealers are expecting a bumper booking season is what the word is coming
Bachat
in.
Bonanza.
Bachat Bonanza, exactly. And speaking of Bachat Bonanza, Mr. Gupta, we were talking about how people will be able to save on large TVs, but considering that this savings will happen, I believe what Alex was indicating was that small items will also pick up sales, because the moment they save in some item, they would want to spend that in some other item. What is your expectation? What are the other items that you're seeing demand spur up in?
So this time what we are seeing is a person who would have not wanted to buy a television this Diwali will buy, because he'll say, oh, I always wanted that 75-inch television. So he'll come and go. And whatever he was planning to buy, whether it's a refrigerator or a mobile, he'll buy. And secondly, when he comes in the store, and because he's going to go for EMI, so there are full chance that if he had come to buy a 55 inches, he'll upgrade to 65 or even 75. And likewise, it will go up. Plus, then possibly he may also look out for a headphone. Because today in television, the most important thing is at night when one is sleeping and one is watching, the problem is what to do with the sound.
Like you're speaking from experience, sir. But the question is, that's an interesting point that you raise, which is a lot of people are buying white goods with credit card or with an EMI. So what is the mix right now for large ticket items like phones and like televisions, as you pointed out?
I think 70% of our sale comes from EMIs.
Okay.
Whether it's a credit card or a plain paper finance. And 70 to 75% is coming from EMI.
And this is across... I know this is for you, but would you say that this is the trend across the industry as well?
In fact, people don't want to pay down payment. People are only looking out for zero down payment, zero processing fee schemes.
Even in terms of, the overall discounting that's taking place, because we have a lot of online platforms giving big discount, festive season discounts. Can you give us a sense in terms of the average percentage of discounts that we're seeing on these electronic items?
See, basically, anywhere between say, 5 to 15-20% is the norm which is happening. But more than direct discounting, it is the EMI schemes which are being more sweetened. As I said, zero down payment and a longer tenor. Now it's no longer restricted to 8-12. It's going to 18, even 24 months. And in the case of one brand, Sony, they give pay by screen size. So if you're buying a 55 inches, you have to pay 5,500 per month. Okay. So it goes up to that size. So accordingly, what is happening now? This is also another form of discount. Then there are exchange offers which comes up. So in mobile, you will always find whatever your value of the mobile is there, plus there's a bump up of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So all this forms a part of a discount. And this is what Diwali makes so big for our industry.
Okay, interesting. One more question that I had with you was with regards to where e-commerce and quick commerce trends are picking up, right? Because recently a report came out which said that DMart Ready and Amazon now has the highest average discount, which is at 23%. So this might not impact the larger appliances, overall, but smaller appliances, for example, a mixer grinder might see some kind of impact there. Any trend that you're picking up?
See, frankly speaking, wherever there's a maximum discount, possibly they are not the best of the brands which the consumers would wanting. There will be selective brands where the maximum discounts are happening.
Correct.
So for those consumers who just want a temporary or they are looking for discounts, yes, that becomes a go-to. But otherwise, a consumer normally would want to buy, and as we are saying, premiumization is happening. So in premiumization, even the brand premiumization is happening. A consumer wants to go in for a better brand also.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. Now, in terms of the other ground report that we are bringing to you is with regards to a ground report that's coming in from Rishabh, who's spoken to somewhere in Karol Bagh with regards to where Bikaner Wala stands. Listen to what he has to say.
Right, bright and early here at Karol Bagh. We are at the prominent corner location of Bikaner Wala in Karol Bagh on the morning of September 22nd, which is when the new GST rates kick in. And as you can see behind me, you have the poster put up by the restaurant that says GST Uphar, which translates to a GST gift. And it does say that saste hue cakes, pastries or namkeens, which translates to cheaper cakes, pastries as well as savory items. Let's head inside and figure out what sort of benefits will be passed on to the consumers with this. Right, I'm joined by the management of Bikaner Wala here in Karol Bagh. Sir, आज से सितंबर 22 हो गई है, नए GST रेट्स आ रहे हैं. आप किन प्रोडक्ट्स पे कम हो रहा है रेट और आपकी क्या उम्मीदें हैं?
हमारी नमकीन जो 12% थी वो अब 5% पे हो गई, तो 7% हम लेस कर दिए उस पर. और कुकीज़ वगैरह जो 18% में आते थे वो भी 5% हो गए, तो 13% उसको भी हमने कम कर दिया है. MRP अभी फ़िलहाल वही लगी हुई है, लेकिन हम कस्टमर को जो बिलिंग कर रहे हैं वो लेस करके ही कर रहे हैं.
तो एक बार हम स्टिकर प्राइस और बिल देख लेते हैं सर. तो जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं बिस्किट्स, नमकीन, केक्स वगैरह पे जी
ये लगे हैं, ये कुकीज़ है, इसके MRP है 144. जब हम कस्टमर को दे रहे हैं ये बिल है इसका 144 का 128 का दे रहे हैं. 13% इसमें हमने लेस कर दिया है.
इससे आपको क्या लगता है कि और कस्टमर का जो डिमांड है वो बढ़ेगा?
बिल्कुल बढ़ेगा जी, नेचुरल बढ़ेगा. अगर कस्टमर का पैसा बच रहा है तो वो कहीं न कहीं खर्च करेंगे ही, खाने पीने में और में सब चीज़ों में करेंगे वो.
और आज तो पहला दिन है इस GST रेट कट का, यही चलता रहेगा आगे तक? आगे फेस्टिव सीजन भी आ रहा है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आगे भी यही चलेगा. हमारी उम्मीद है कि ग्राहक आए और अपना पैसा बचाए और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मिठाइयाँ, नमकीन, बिस्किट्स और ये खरीदे, ताकि अपने बच्चों के लिए भी दिवाली पे और पे नवरात्रों में ये सारी चीज़ें घर में ले जाएं.
Right, there you have it. All sorts of GST rate cut benefits being passed on to the end consumers. You have savory items that are getting cheaper, about 7 to 8% at least. Shops starting today, starting September 22nd, have started passing on these benefits to the customers, and they have done so in hopes of higher footfall and better traction ahead of the coming festive as well as wedding season.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Rishabh, for getting us that update. It's certainly given us some food for thought. And the other thing that, of course, we've got is our list of things to maybe look at buying. Of course, that depends on what your EMIs this month are. Mahima, I'll ask you that after the show is done. Nilesh, thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, Mr. Sandeep Kumar, thanks so much for joining us as well. And viewers, do stay tuned. Lots more coming up over the course of the day. This is NDTV Profit.